not valuing creation as it is, you opted for your own private viewpoint and caused all that is part of the infinitude of your own being to seem to be different from you, and something which you had to lay claim to. I'm being repetitive here. And because you did not value it in the first place and gave preference to your private point of view, you now live, you think, you now perceive existence as a state of mild warfare and sometimes extreme warfare in order to possess and hold on to your possessions. I'm going to go back to the beginning of the paragraph. Attack could never promote attack, in other words, retaliation, unless you perceived the original attack as a means of depriving you of something you want. Key word there, something you want. You don't have to want something you have, do you? And yet the Father has withheld nothing of what He is from you in His creation of you by extending Himself in His fullness as the very presence of you. Yet you cannot lose anything unless you did not value it and therefore did not want it. This makes you feel deprived of it. See? You wanted an exclusive viewpoint. You created an exclusive viewpoint for yourself, and the infinity of you became excluded from you, and then you felt excluded from it. In other words, you felt at a loss. Again, this makes you feel deprived of it. And by projecting your own rejection, you believe that others are taking it from you. One must be fearful if he believes that his brother is attacking him to tear the kingdom of heaven from him. You see, you're all trying to reclaim the kingdom of heaven. You're trying to take possession of it again after having excluded yourself from it by saying, I want to say what everything is. So one must be fearful if he believes that his brother is attacking him to tear the kingdom of heaven from him. This is the ultimate basis for all of the ego's projections. Do you see that? You said so simply. And from the allness of your Christhood, your utter stability, your inviolable experience of invulnerability, you said, Father, guess what? From today on, I'm going to say what everything is. At least for me. If you want to say what it is, fine. If everybody else wants to just accept what you say a thing is, what you have meant by its creation, fine. But you know what? I'm feeling really good. In fact, I'm feeling just wonderful and secure. And so, don't call me, I'll call you. And you rejected the Father's point of view. You rejected the clear, undistorted, conscious comprehension of all of creation. And then, after having excluded the Father's perspective, you found yourself feeling excluded from all that the Father was being. Creation. And then you looked around at all the other Christs that were in your face, and you said, He took it from me. Or, now that I've got a little bit of it back, I've got to be careful because she's going to take it from me because it's really valuable and they're going to want it. And all of this causes you to completely forget that all of this, what I'm telling you is misperception, occurred because of something you did, not something they did, not something they will do, something you did when you said, I'd rather see it my way. That's the way the ego works. It's their fault. And I'm going to deal with them until I get this straightened out with them. Instead of getting it straightened out where the mistake was made, which was in your own mind by saying, I'd rather see it my way. You see? Again, one must be fearful if he believes that his brother is attacking him to tear the kingdom of heaven from him. This is the ultimate basis for all of the ego's projection. Being, listen to this, being the part of your mind which does not believe it is responsible for itself, and being without allegiance to God, the ego is incapable of trust. What is the ego? It's the part of your mind which does not believe it is responsible for itself and has no allegiance to God. That's all. Projecting its insane belief that you have been treacherous to your Creator, it believes that your brothers, who are as incapable of this as you are out to take God from you. See? Somebody else is going to have to be responsible. Somebody else has to blame, has to be blamed. Instead of your taking a look and remembering that you said, Father, I'd rather look at it my way. And you've been fighting to look at it your way ever since. For so long that you've forgotten your original, radical, righteous intent to give meaning to everything yourself. Continuing, whenever a brother attacks another, this is what he believes. Projection always sees your will in others. Why? Because mind is a singularity. If you will to separate yourself from God, that is what you will think others are doing to you. You, here we go, you are the will of God. And I'm going to say again, you are the Christ. Your very being is the function of embodying what God is being right where you are. Right now, it looks to you as though you have to make a conscious choice to do that, but it's only because you made a conscious choice not to do it. And now you've got to retrace your steps. Once you make the conscious choice to do it, the bubble will burst, and then you will experience your real function, for lack of better words, again. You are the will of God. Well, if that isn't excellence, I don't know what it is. Are you going to continue covering up your excellence? Well, you know what? You may succeed in thinking that you're covering it up, but the very excellence of you, because it is a singularity, will govern you nevertheless. And the laws of singularity, the way singularity works, will be reflected in what I'm going to call excellent reproductions of conflict. I've said before that the ego is a defense mechanism. I've said before that the only thing that the ego can't defend itself against is disregard, right? In other words, if you attack it, you will always lose. Why? Because mind is a singularity, and the excellence of mind as a singularity, when it creates a defense mechanism, it creates a defense mechanism that you can't win against. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why the only way you can become free of it is to disregard it. Now, I hope that you're beginning to grasp the fact that you are the Christ, that there's only mind. You don't have two minds, a real mind and an ego mind. There's just mind creating according to the laws of the singularity of mind an experience of reality as it is because you're yielding to the Father's will, or an illusion of a conflicted world and universe that started from a big bang that is purely material and has nothing to do with God. You are either allowing the fullness and beauty of God's creation to register with you because you're letting it in, or you are, with excellence, creating illusions that you can't escape from until you arrive at a point of disregarding them. Because the only way a fantasy or an illusion can disappear and cease afflicting you is when you disregard it. We're going to end with the first two sentences of this paragraph. You are the will of God. Do not accept anything else as your will, or you are denying what you are. What I'm saying to you is that waking up is not complicated, and it's not about learning facts. It's not about learning concepts. It's not about learning anything. It's about abandoning what you've been engaged in that has been causing you misery. By learning, and I use that word carefully, by becoming able to recognize when you're using your mind in a conflicted way that now you know will cause everything you experience to appear to be divided, conflicted, confused, disintegrated. So that you can make the choice for what is true because you can see what isn't. And thereby stop using your mind in a conflicted way. Because as you abandon that, the singularity of mind will be what's left, and you'll be awake. More of the good news. I embrace you and love you. Let this abide with you, percolate. And again, pay attention during the coming week, moment by moment if necessary. Be alert, be conscious, so that you can see whether the use you're putting your mind to has a divisive result or a unifying result. If it has a divisive result, no matter how much you can justify it, it is an invalid, and I'm going to say destructive use of your mind. Not that it can actually destroy anything, but it can absolutely distract you from the experience of a miracle, a sudden shift of perception, wherein you find yourself behaving in a way that unifies. Okay. I look forward to being with you next week.